Crypto has been the best performing asset for over the last decade, not since the internet revolution of the 2000s.
We believe that this is a critical category formation time.
Have we seen such a new technology with such big potential? But just like in those early days, even after experts said the bubble has popped, the winners have already been chosen, this is already decades old. The biggest gainers for the internet were still to come. Some hadn't even been invented yet, but the people that paid attention,
I think the internet is
found the hidden gems among the rubble. They financially changed their lives forever. Today, let's look at how I would invest $1,000 in crypto in 2024 if I was starting out today. Because I do believe some of the winners, most of the winners, have not been chosen yet. Definitely not in terms of mainstream awareness. So this is my portfolio breakdown. Smash the like button if you appreciate this sort of content. It lets me know you want to see more of it. And while a particular coin pick may shock you, watch the whole video. Let's start with number 1 and 2, maybe sort of obvious, but Bitcoin and Ethereum. And by the way, I chose this portfolio allocation, and again, this is me, what I would do. You might do something else. But this is under the assumption that we're heading into / continuing into bull market territory. We've been in a bear market, in my opinion, for over 2 years, and then technically started that new bull market at the beginning of last year. But because of this, because of the trend change, I'm allocating more risk to my portfolio with the goal of the end game to always be accumulating more Bitcoin or turning those altcoin gains eventually into Bitcoin, which again is riskier. I'm taking that on. And the 3 reasons Bitcoin makes the list: number 1, the halving that's happening in 90 days. That's literally going to be a supply constraint on the asset, aka a supply shock. And by the way, we've seen this over and over again. The Bitcoin halving is baked into the code. And while in total, there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin ever in existence, the last one won't be mined from today for over 100 years from now. And every 4 years, we get that supply shock, which leads to price increase. We also know that Bitcoin has never really had such a clear demand shock. BlackRock has officially backed the asset. They're literally accumulating as much as they possibly can right now to sell to their clients through the ETF. And just like when the first gold ETF listed was ever publicly available, listed in 2004, yes, the price dipped for about the next 3 to 6 months. But after that, for the next 5+ years, gold almost only went up, as now Wall Street had an easy way to buy. Now, Ethereum comes in at 20% also for my 2024 portfolio. And just understand that that doesn't mean I'll necessarily be holding Ethereum, 5 years from now or 10 years from now, right? There's many Ethereum killers or competitors that may change things. Bitcoin is that long-term hold. It is fundamentally different, in my opinion. But there's literally no reason not to be bullish on ETH this year if you're paying attention. Case in point, BlackRock has officially backed Ethereum as well.
I see value in having an Ethereum ETF.
And BlackRock's isn't the only one. There's a handful of major companies.
We've already had Ethereum spot ETF applications filed, but it's different when it's BlackRock.
BlackRock is so in bed with the government.
People joke that there's 4 branches of the government: the executive, judicial, legislative, and BlackRock.
That they do not submit unless they're pretty darn sure they're getting that approval. And wouldn't you have liked to invest in Bitcoin months before they got their ETF approved? We have that opportunity today with Ethereum. So again, that's the demand constraint for Ethereum. Ethereum also has a supply constraint that's new because of new tokenomics, which were not here last cycle. So because of an upgrade called EIP 1559, which technically got implemented at the end of 2021 when the bear market had kind of just started, every time a transaction happens on the ETH network, a little bit of Ethereum gets burned. There's been over 4 million Ethereum burned, meaning gone, over the last 2.5 years. That ETH is not coming back, that's taken out of the system. And if/when enough activity happens on the network, ETH becomes deflationary. And again, that changes Ethereum's tokenomics for me to almost the top, a 4 out of 5 for me. This is how I sort of rank or evaluate different altcoins. But let's move on. Bitcoin and Ethereum, sort of the obvious ones. And again, the goal for me is always to be accumulating more Bitcoin, turn the altcoin gains into Bitcoin as best we can, although that does come with risk. But to me, the next 20% is L1s and then maybe L2s. And what smart money does is they understand, let's get a basket of 3 to 4, and maybe 2 of these will do fine, 1 might tank and might not do well. One of those could be that lottery ticket and might explode. So that's why it's not one specific coin, it's more of a basket of a few. And the reason I'm bullish on layer 1s is because unlike in the internet days, when you couldn't invest in the underlying protocol of the internet, meaning all of the value accrued to the top, in crypto, you can invest in those underlying chains, meaning no matter what aspect of DeFi makes it in the end, or no matter which gaming coins make it in the end, the value is accruing on these underlying chains. And personally, the ones I can see doing very well, Solana, it's already a blue chip, it's already pretty high. I think it'll continue to do well this cycle, but obviously Solana, Cardano, Avalanche, and Polkadot are sort of the blue chips. Polkadot is more regulatory compliant than the other ones. We discussed that more in this video. BlackRock Bitcoin ETF approval will pump these next 3 altcoins. Highly recommend you watch this video. But also Tron's sort of a sleeping giant. It is still hugely popular in Asia, especially with stablecoin settlement. But if I had to pick 2 to 3 for me, and by the way, it should be mentioned, basically every coin today I do own, because this is literally how I would spend $1,000. This is my story, so I do own these coins. I would pick Cardano and Polkadot as my high caps. I would pick Cosmos and Injective as the mid caps. Let's come back to that because my next 15% is DeFi, or decentralized finance. Obviously, huge hype into 2024. For me, if I'm looking at high caps for DeFi, I like Chainlink, I like Uniswap. These 2 coins are actively being utilized. There's huge activities on these networks. I think they're going to do really, really well in the next 1 to 2 years. I also like the Graph because that's more of an infrastructure play. It's more of a decentralized version of Google's big Quarry system. Next up, the next 10% allocation in the portfolio is gaming or GameFi. I think that'll be big. The blue chips I like are Immutable and I would say Gala. Mid caps I like would be ApeCoin and Illuvium. If you look at the gameplay for Illuvium, it's insane. It looks so cool. And then if we had to look lower cap, obviously the ones that I recognize, Hello, they're doing a crypto version of Shark Tank, huge TV show that I'm in, I help produce. Myria, I may start running a few nodes on that. I think that one's really interesting. Star Atlas, huge in the Solana ecosystem. But that brings us to our next 10% in the crypto portfolio. For me, would be AI coins, artificial intelligence. And I would also actually include storage, data storage in that, just because, again, we're going to need some place to store the data. And right now, Amazon Web Storage could do it. Google could help do it. Let's go with a decentralized solution, but understanding that all that, to me, is in the artificial intelligence umbrella for this list. Number 1, BitTensor. This is sort of, it's a mid cap right now. I think this is gearing up to be a blue chip AI coin in this space. If we scroll down, let's get some low caps. I think there's a lot of hype around ChainGPT, and actually I am an owner of LimeWire as well. I think these 2 are sort of separating themselves from the pack. Another one actually that's not even on this list, but we have talked about this before, the world's first AI data infrastructure, AIT protocol. The beta recently just launched, so I like that they're implementing. And then the last 5% for me is the degen play. Some people may attribute that to memes. To me, if you look at any meme, I guess we could take Dogecoin as the perfect example. If we put the Dogecoin through this ranking system, to me, Dogecoin's team would get a 0. They've come out against the project. They say it was just a joke. They hate the project. Use case, we can give Doge, a 1. It's you can use it to pay for things, but nobody does that. History has showed us that people would much rather accept Bitcoin as payment than Doge. Tokenomics is horrible, highly centralized. Also, there's an infinite supply, meaning Dogecoin will be printed forever. Also, I would say technology is a 1. It's truly nothing special, doesn't do that much. But community, that is a 5 out of 5. And I guess my point in all this is sometimes with these degen plays, with these meme coins, or just low cap coins in general, to pump, sometimes a huge community is all you need. So my last 5% would go to something like this. Now, me personally, I'm not that big of a meme coin person. To me, what's more of a degen play that I really like much more is you go to these different ecosystems, maybe the Theta ecosystem if you're bullish on Theta, or maybe it's decentralized identity, maybe it's DePIN. We've talked about this recently. And then you go into these ecosystems or categories that you are bullish on, and then you try and find the super, super low caps. And most of them are probably garbage, but the ones that meet your requirements in your ranking system, that's how you pick them for you. Now for this final 5%, I would rather hear from you down below in the video comment section. What do you like? Because for me, we're always very transparent on this channel, a reason many of you like watching, that you subscribe, and you can see the lower cap coins that I hold. If today's video gets over 7,500 likes, I will do an update because this will let me know you like this sort of content. Like always, see you tomorrow.